What's good, guys? Welcome back to Seven Trans, guys. It's your Saturday guy Torian, and this week we're talking about our names. But firstly, I just wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I hope your Christmas went well. I hope you got everything you wanted, and I hope you had a good time with your friends and your family or whoever you spent time with. And I know for some people this period is very hard because they don't have people that support them. I'm just here to tell you that it gets better. I believe it gets better, so I hope you believe it too. So yeah. Talking about our names, my name is Torian, Toryian, or Tau apostrophe Rean. Right now I'm in between spellings, but I'll get to the reason for that eventually. So for my name, when I decided to transition, at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to change my name, but then after a while I decided that that's something I wanted to do. And I didn't want to change my name because I wanted a boy name, because actually my birth name, my name I was given at birth, is gender neutral. It's gender neutral in my culture, and it's also gender neutral in the sense that it's not in English, right? So a lot of people that see it don't even understand or know what it says. Like, they can read it, but they can't read the name and go, oh, that's a boy's name, that's a girl's name, because it's not in English, right? So it wasn't because I wanted a more male or masculine name. To me, I didn't want to keep my birth name, which is Fian. Fian. My name is Fian. A lot of people say Fian, so I would say Fian for the sake of this. I didn't want to keep the name Fian because to me that was her. Whenever I talk about her, I refer to her as Fian. I refer to her as her. I refer to her almost in the sense that, like, she and I are two different people, but we are the same people, because I wouldn't be the same. Well, we're the same person. Sorry, I wouldn't be who I am today without her, right? So it's really hard to explain why I decided to switch my name, but it's not because I wanted a more male name or a more masculine name. I believe that Fian is that person. Fian is the person that I lived as for 21 years. That was who she was. And by me taking her name and transitioning and keeping her name, I feel like I no longer... And I don't allow her to be her anymore, because then Fian will become... They'll be using Fian for my male self. And so in this, I'm not one of the people that believe that I didn't know I was trans. I didn't know I was male all my life, right? And I don't believe that, like, when I was from the 0 to 21, I was male and I didn't know it. I don't think that that's what it was. I believe that I was who I was. And that's who I was, and that's that person. That's Fian. The person I am now is Torian, right? So I wanted to change my name because I wanted to keep her as her and keep me as me, but we're both the same person, right? Like, to me, a name embodies who you are, embodies what you stand for, and like what you're here to represent. And Fian was who she was. That's who she was. That's her name. That's who she was here to represent. That's what she stood for. I'm not that person anymore. I've changed. I've evolved. I'm going through this transition where I'll be experiencing a whole new bunch of things that Fian is not experiencing, right? So that's why I decided to change my name. I hope you guys understand. So yeah, how I came up with Torian. My grandmother died she died a week before my 18th birthday. She was one of the first people. I've lost a lot of people. I have no more grandparents, so she was my last grandparent. But she was like the first death that I was old enough to really understand and comprehend the idea that like she was dead. Like, when I lost other people, I'd been younger, and I knew that they were no longer going to be around. Like, that's what death was. But she was the first one I actually understood, because she was sick for a while. She was in the hospital, so it was like a gradual process till she like ceased to exist. So it was really hard on me because I experienced like the idea of losing her, then I lost her, and she was my last grandparent. So she was the one grandparent I was actually close to, and I was able to grow up with. So when she died, it was really hard on me. And she died a day before my mom's birthday and a week before my 18th birthday. And so when I decided to transition, I was like, okay, I really want to do something to reverence the fact that, like, this was one person that I lost very recently, and I'm like, I don't want my mom to feel like she's losing her daughter or losing a child. So I wanted her to be able to have me and have her mum, like someone she just lost, to, yeah, like have them as one. And every time she calls me Torian or someone else calls me Torian, she remembers who I was and remembers my grandmother and remembers who I am. And for everyone in general. So whenever they ask about my story, about where I got my name, I can always have my grandmother with me. So her name was Victoria, and when I was trying to decide on names, like I wanted a name from my grandparent, and I decided to settle on I decided to go with her, a name from her, because she was my last grandparent, and we were pretty close. So Victor was one of the first names I came up with because, well, Victoria, Victor, or Victory. I knew a few I knew Victory. I know Victroy. So I was trying out different names, and I was trying to decide what version of Victoria I wanted. And I didn't necessarily, as I said, want a male version of the name, but I didn't want to be called Victoria. I didn't want to take her name. I wanted to redefine it. I wanted to make it mine. So I decided to go with. So me and my ex, we were like talking. We're just literally sitting down, just throwing out names that came from Victoria. It's like Victor, Victory, Tory, Torian, Victorian, Victorian, Torian. I already said Torian earlier, but that kind of how it went. We just kept saying different names, and then we got to Torian. I don't remember who said it, but we kind of both stopped. Sorry, and we're like, Torian. So I looked up what it meant. I'm gonna look up what it means in a few bits, and I'll talk about that. But yeah, so I looked up what it meant, and it's fit. It really fit. So what we decided to do is come up with like different spellings. So I had a piece of paper. We're on Skype, right? Because we're long distance, and so we just spelt it out in different ways. We looked online for different versions of the spelling. And I really wanted to keep the Y. So my birth name, Fiyin, Fiyin, I really wanted to keep the Y in the middle. So that's why we went with Toryian. A way people started spelling it was Toryian, which sounds like the way it's pronounced, like Torian, right? But I spelled it Toryian, Torian. And so, now let me tell you why I'm thinking about changing the spelling of my name. A lot of people want to call me Tori. Like, they see the name, Torian, and they want to stop at Tori. Like, they're like, so I can call you Tori? I'm like, no, my name is Torian. I'm one of the people that, like, a lot of people in my life, they have shortened versions of their name, like nicknames, but I usually choose to call them, like, their full name. Like, not because, like, if it's like my name is Samantha, but I prefer Sam, then I'll call you Sam. But a lot of people, I prefer calling them their full names because I think some people are just lazy. Especially when my name, like, my birth name is not in English, right? And a lot of people shorten it. And it's very disrespectful. They don't even go out of the way to give me my full name. Like, the least you can do is call me my name. So that's what I try and do for people. I try and call them their names. So when I say to you Torian, and you tell me, so I can call you Tori, I'm like, no, you can't. My name is Torian. There's a difference between giving me a nickname because like, it's something you want from, like, it's special. So, like, as I said, my ex used to call me her Tory boy, right? That was a nickname that came from a place of love. She wasn't calling me Tory because she couldn't pronounce Torian. She didn't want to pronounce Torian. Like, she wasn't being lazy. It came from a place of love. So there are a few people in my life that do call me Tori, like, especially in like a loving, playful way, and I'm okay with that. But when someone's trying to call me Tory because they don't want to say Torian because Torian is too hard for them to pronounce, or like the extra syllable is like something, I don't know what the issue is, but you do run into people that don't want to call you your full name because of laziness, and I'm like, no, my name is Torian. So I'm thinking about changing the spelling. Nothing's been official, and like, it's like there's nothing official about it yet anyways. So I'm trying to change the spelling to TAU''REA, and that way when you're reading it, it's Torian, right? So if you're really trying to spell Tory there, like, there's really no Tory you can get from the name, right? Unless you pronounce it Torian, and then you're like, oh, I can call you Tory. But the fact you said Torian already means that you can say the name, right? So I'm trying to stop people from calling me Tory without it coming from a place of love, like a loving nickname. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to change the spelling. So official, as I said, official. Nothing's official yet. I do not want Torian on my documents. As I said before, my birth name, my given name, my first name is not in English. So I don't really get into a lot of trouble with people not being, like, seeing my name and assuming I'm female. Because firstly, I've also had my gender marker changed, so it says male on it. And my name, as I said, is not really, like, you can't look at my name and think anything other than what, like, most people are like, how do I pronounce this? You know, and they go, Mofian. So, and I'm like, you know what, you could just call me Torian. And usually they're just like, okay, that's right, that's nice. Okay, so how do you spell Torian? Like, they don't even bother to try and pronounce my name. So it's really easy for me to just tell people, oh, just call me Torian. And like, they're really willing, they even write it down, they put a note by my birth name and say that, okay, this is fine by me. Like, it's a lot easier for them to just go with the name they can pronounce. So right now, my family and my parents are trying to decide what tribal. I'm Yoruba, so Yoruba tribe from Nigeria. They're trying to come up with a new. They come up with several male names, but none of them have really felt right. So they're trying to come up with one that, firstly, like their aim is to find a way to put Tori in one of my names, which Tori can be translated to Yoruba. So they're trying to put it in one of my names, so that way my name Torian could be from that name. But I do not want a Western name on my birth certificate. I don't want it on my ID. I don't want Torian by itself on my ID, because I don't feel like it really reflects my identity as a Yoruba man, right? I want a tribal name. And people can call me Torian, people can, like, it's working right away, right? It's working anyways, right? So I want a tribal name, and they're working on it right now, so I can't really tell you or explain it because I don't really know yet. So they're supposed to give it to me tomorrow, which is today, I guess, Christmas Day. So I'm making this video too early for me to share that with you. But eventually I will share it and explain to you what it means. But yeah, that's why I haven't changed my document. Firstly, it's not really causing me any qualms. I would like to change it before I graduate, so that way I can get my original, like my new name on my graduation certificate. That way there won't be problems in the future. But I'm not graduating until another 2 years, so I have time. I'm literally in no hurry to change my name whatsoever. I don't really care about changing my name legally because it's not causing me any problems, right? And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So Torian, oh yeah, Torian means, it's Irish for chief. So something cool that my mom does is, like, she calls me chief in Yoruba, which is Oloye. So she calls me like Torian, but she calls me in Yoruba, which is kind of cool too. But yeah, I'm gonna try and read to you guys a bit of what Torian means. So this is what it means. You like to control everyone within your influence, to shape things to your own liking. If positive, you develop high spirituality as you have God's protection. You're sensitive, affectionate, imaginative, and cooperative, spiritually aware, and prone to self-sacrifice. You can keep secrets and are a good diplomat. You may have healing and psychic powers. You're frank, methodical, and believe in law, system, and order. Second part. You're seeking freedom, opportunity to enjoy life, to make love, to go places and do things. You are very adventurous and are willing to take risks to achieve your objectives. New ways and new experiences can't satisfy your restless nature. One adventure leads you to another. You are honest and fair because you know that this is the only way to receive justice and honesty from other people. But your personal growth is vital for you, and it is very difficult to be tied down by rules and obligations. Your restless spirit might be best controlled by choosing a field of work that meets your demands for high actions or adventure. Okay, yeah, so towards the end it got a bit bare. But for the most part, like, I was reading this and, like, my ex was like, this is you. And when I told my mom, and when I came out with my name, I read the meaning to people and they were like, this is your freaking name, Torian. This is exactly you. This is describing you. So that was something else that helped me make that decision. I read up what the name meant, and it fit. Like, it was just like I'm reading about myself, and so it was pretty cool. And that's why I decided on the name Torian. People call me Torian. As I said, I don't want it on my documents. I want it in my name in some way. So that's why it's taking my parents kind of long coming up with a tribal name that does fit. So there's a pattern of names in my family, and so they have to find a name that fits that pattern, as well as it having Tory in it too. So it's going to be a bit of a difficult name to find, but they're working on it, and they should be done by now. So yeah, that's my name. This was kind of longer than the other guy's name, but yeah. So that's it. Middle names. Once again, my middle name. I wanted to go with Jerome at some point. I really like the name Jerome, but Torian Jerome. Yeah, I don't even sound Nigerian. Like, I want a Nigerian name. I enjoy the idea of people looking at my name and not knowing how to say it, and me educating them by teaching them that my name is Murphy and Falua, right? I praise the Lord. Don't just cut it down and don't make it something else. Like, my name, our names are beautiful, right? Like, our parents put so much effort and thought into the name, right? And here you are, you're trying to cut into something shorter just because it satisfies you. No, you're not going to do that to my name. You're going to say my full name because that's the least you can do. I'm not over here calling you B, right? Your name's Bob. I'm calling you Bob. Unless you want me to call you B. So unless I tell you can call me Mo, don't freaking take two. That's the, oh yeah. So one thing. Let me give you an example. My name, my birth name, as I said, was Fiyin. F-I-Y-I-N. 5 letters. Would you believe at some point people used to call me Fee? My full name is 13 letters long. I gave them 5. They decided that 5 was too hard and they wanted 2. Yeah, that's not happening with Torian. They're not going to call me Torian. My name is Torian. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share. Merry Christmas, as I said, and I hope you have a happy time. Bye, guys.